Still think it's too late to start creating content? Well, think again. Today's guest started her YouTube channel just 4 years ago and was able to monetize in just 4 months.
I didn't have that type of pressure on me, which I feel like helped me actually grow faster because I was just like cranking out the content. I wasn't so worried about the financial piece of it that I was able to get monetized on my channel within about 3 to 4 months. And I started making, like, my first YouTube check, I think, was $150, and then the next month it was over $1,000, and then it just kept growing from there.
Now she's built her brand to a $50,000 plus in monthly revenue. According to research firm Zion Market Research, the global digital content market was valued at around $1 trillion in 2019, and it's projected to reach $1.7 trillion by 2026. So if you ask me, friend, oh no, you are not too late. You're actually right on time.
You have to start. And a lot of creators who are in the space of like wanting to start but haven't started yet are like always worried about what if it doesn't look right? What if? And you have to take the risk of just looking like a fool, if that's what you even look like. Like, the thing is a lot of times we actually are a lot better than we think we even are. So you think that all these people are about to negatively judge you, or you're assuming the worst and projecting those feelings that are fake, that no one has even put on you, as real, and then it prevents you from actually starting.
I mean, think about it. A few years ago, there wasn't any blueprint on how to build a brand. And we're actually hosting a free webinar this weekend to teach you how to build a 6-figure brand online. Just go ahead and click the link in the description box down below. Now let's go ahead and jump into today's show. But before we do that, I want you to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
So Erin, I got a question for you. I want to start from the very beginning. The number one, actually two things. The number one rising entrepreneur in America is a Black woman. And so I was like, yo, okay then. So let me ask a Black woman who you've been able to build without giving away too much of your personal information, but you've been able to build a business as a Black woman that's making $50,000 plus a month. And I want to start here. What are your secrets? Not really your secrets. What are the keys to you making $50,000 plus per month? What are you doing? What's your specialty? What's your expertise? I know it, but for the people watching, how are you doing that?
Okay, so when I first started Erin on Demand, I was doing what I called commercials, which were like social media commercials for small businesses, primarily small Black-owned businesses in Metro Detroit. And I was like bopping around the city with my camera. I was doing everything. Like, I was producing them, recording them, editing them, like everything. And they were really successful. And so I started my channel, Erin on Demand, because I was like, oh shoot, I haven't done this for myself. Like, where's my own commercial? Where's my video content, right? So I started creating content for myself. I started my YouTube channel, which I had been sitting on for probably years. And one day I was just like, I need to do this. So I started my channel because I felt like there weren't a lot of Black women on YouTube talking about like building their business from the ground up. Like, I had just moved in with my parents, moved back in with my parents.
Yo, when Erin said, she moved back in with her parents, I thought that was actually a wise move. And here's why I think it's a wise move. If you can move back in with intentions and have a clear vision of what you're doing within the next 12 months to 24 months, you take advantage of that time, you steward that opportunity, and you work the plan so you can get back out on your own. That's a wise, very wise move.
And like, was trying to get this thing off the ground, and I just really needed to see somebody who was in that stage with me. And so that's where I started my channel, and then the channel started making more than my business. And I was like, okay, like, people were starting to ask me not about coming to shoot a video for them, but like, how was I growing this channel? And so I started a membership club, and that was like the start of everything just taking off. So I started this membership club and got like so many people in there from YouTube. And so I was making money off of my channel, making money off this membership club. I was still doing the commercials. where I was retaining different clients. And so once I dropped the soulmercials because they weren't, for one, they weren't what I wanted to be doing. And for two, like they were the lowest income stream for me at the time. Once I dropped that and went all in with my memberships, one-on-ones, I started making a lot more money. So that's what most of my income comes from, is my YouTube channel, my one-on-ones, my membership club, and then also now brand sponsorships, which has been like a huge revenue stream that's opened up since my channel has grown such a great community.
Man, so let's stay right there, because my team and I, we have a a huge passion of helping people get out of debt and build wealth. And I believe that you want to have a job for sure, but then also what's on the inside of you that you can teach, you can share, that can also produce wealth. In this new generation, they say the number one small type of business that's growing right now is the content creation space. As a YouTuber, as a content creator, how do you feel being in that category when people say, like, what do you do? Like, how do you answer that question? And it's like, would you say that is the future? Like, would you agree with the stat that, this is scalable? This is a new career that I think people should really look into. But I want to go back to the original question and also answer that. Like, how do you answer the question? When people say, what do you do?
Yeah, it is sometimes a challenge, and I think I kind of shift based on who I'm talking to, because it's a little bit more digestible for high schoolers to know that I'm a YouTuber and I have a business from YouTube. But then, like, if I'm talking to a business owner, I'm like, well, I'm an entrepreneur who, teaches other entrepreneurs how to create content, how to market their businesses. And I also do the same for myself with my social media. So, honestly, that's it. Like, I create the content, and then I also help other people create the content to grow and scale their business, because for me, that's what it's more about. Like, the content is great. Being a content creator is great. But at some point, like, you're going to get sick of creating content. Like, when I'm 45 with a 16-year-old child, hopefully, like, I'm not trying to be like, pulling out my YouTube stuff. And, I want to be able to have something that's sustainable, that supports the lifestyle that I ultimately want. And I think content creation right now is such a great way for me to get that going. But ultimately, like, I want content creators to see their content business as bigger than just content, as something that you can use to develop something else that has more longevity and sustainability. So that is really the root of what I teach, alongside of like how to actually create the content. Is like, no, don't stop there though. Like, keep going and push for something else. So I hope that answered your question.
No, I answered the question real good. Hey, real quick, when you're feeling your best, did you know you can actually take on the world and accomplish anything you want and anything you set your mind to? But sometimes life can get in the way, and you may start to feel overwhelmed or like you're not showing up as the best version of yourself. That's where therapy can come in. By working with a licensed therapist, you can get closer to being the best version of yourself and feel more empowered to handle whatever life throws your way. If you're considering giving therapy a try, which I highly suggest, BetterHelp is a fantastic option. You see, it's convenient, it's flexible, it's affordable, it's going to fit inside of your budget, and it's all done online, fam. Simply fill out a brief questionnaire to be matched with a licensed therapist. And here's the thing, you can switch your therapist at any time for no additional charge. If you want to live a more empowered and fulfilling life, therapy can help get you there. And right now, because you are my family, you can get 10% off your first month when you visit anthonyoneal.com/therapy. Again, that's anthonyoneal.com/therapy. You can get the link in today's show notes. But hey, take the first step towards a better you. Now, here's the second step. Let's get back to the show, because I know it's a good one. Let me answer this question. Today, you're making 50,000 plus in your business, but you weren't doing that in the very beginning, So in the very beginning, what were some things what was the mindset you had to have in the very beginning to not give up? Because I remember, I don't know about you, but I remember when I first started YouTube, I remember my first check was like $2. And then I was excited because I'm putting in all this work. Then my first check was $2. I was like, man, what? And then the next check was like $15. I was like, man, this is whack, you know? But I still had to keep going. I'm curious, in your seat, how did you start, and what was your mindset that you had to have to keep pushing through the beginning stages?
Well, the good thing about my situation was, for one, I had moved back in with my parents, so I didn't have any bills. I was still driving my car from high school, so I didn't have a car note. And I also like saved money from my previous job. I was working at National Geographic and was making a lot of money there. So I was able to like have a little bird's nest of cushion. And I do understand that everybody doesn't have that. So it took some of the pressure off from me feeling like, okay, I'm going all in with this content. I need to make money. I needed to make money for me immediately so that I can, make a living. I didn't have that type of pressure on me, which I feel like helped me actually grow faster because I was just like cranking out the content. I wasn't so worried about the financial piece of it that I was able to get monetized on my channel within about 3 to 4 months.
Oof.
And I started making, like, my first YouTube check, I think was $150. And then the next month it was over $1,000. And then it just kept growing from there. And so I often say, like, if you can set yourself up to be able to not have to worry so much about how much the check is going to be, then that pressure alleviated from your content creation process actually helps create better content, which could speed up the process of making more money.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And this what I love about what you just said. You was like, hey man, it's here are the steps. And what's so good is, this weekend, you guys, my team and I are going to be offering a free webinar that we're going to be teaching you how to build a personal brand, the 4 keys, the 4 steps on how you can start and monetize, not on YouTube. Like, we're not just teaching YouTube. Erin is the beast at the YouTube, right? We're teaching you globally. How do you build a brand where you can get on stage, speak, get corporate events, get on podcasts, YouTube, all that type of stuff. So I want to encourage you to check out the link in today's show notes or go to anthonyoneal.com /masterclass. It's 100% free. We're going to dial in and really teach you how to build a 6-figure brand. But then also, Erin has an amazing whole situation on how to really scale and build on YouTube. So we're going to be dropping her information in the show notes as well. So join us this weekend. Check out my sister's information because I'm telling you right now, this is what it's all about. It's really, how do we make money on the side? And when you have people like Erin, like myself, who want to help you really build wealth, and it's free. You get some stuff for free. Not everything for free. I'm gonna tell you right now, I know my sister, you gonna pay us some money, you know what I'm saying? But this weekend with us, it is definitely free because we want to help you. And so come check us out. Go to anthonyoneal.com /masterclass. We're going to show you how to really start making $1,000 within the first 30 days of joining our program. So okay, cool. So you were able to scale. You're married. I had the opportunity to meet your husband, one of the dopest brothers, that I've had the opportunity to meet as a husband, because one thing that I noticed with you two is we both met at one of our mutual friends event, Sean Cannell, who's a dear brother of mine, who I say is the YouTube guru of gurus.
him. Like,
Yeah,
I watched him. Everyone's watched him. Like,
if you love YouTube, you're watching Sean.
start a channel, you know who Sean is.
Exactly. And so Erin and I had the opportunity to speak for his big conference last year, and Erin completely killed the stage. But what I loved was seeing her husband, supporting her, rooting for her, following her around with the camera. This man was just rocking that. I'm curious, Erin, how do you and your husband, you run this business? He's in a total successfully career space. How do y'all work together as a couple, and building such a huge legacy? Because you're a content creation space. I won't say what he's in because he's in a very, high level position. I want to respect that privacy for the family. But it's like, how do y'all do that as a couple, spend time and still make money in the legacy part?
Yeah. So Cameron, he's actually an engineer, so I'll just say that much. But he is able to, like, he's so great at his actual 9 to 5 job that he has a lot of extra time to devote to our business as well.
Mm.
So everyone thinks that he works for me, like works for Erin on Demand full time. It's both of our businesses, but they think he works just Erin on Demand all the time, and he still balances his 9 to 5 very well. But I would say the biggest thing for us is that when I first started my channel, Cameron was the first person to actually invest in something for it. And he bought me a ring light. This was when we were still dating. Like, I had no gear. I had a camera and that was it. So I had the camera sitting on a little tripod. I didn't have any lighting. I was just using natural light. And he bought me a ring light. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so sweet of him. Like, he is really like invested. It showed me more than just the ring light. It was like he really supporting what I was doing.
When Erin talked about her husband was the first investor when they were dating, that touched me, man, because I think oftentimes men, we think that we should be the breadwinner, the prize winner, we should have it all. But you know, sometimes how come we just can't invest into our spouse, invest into our loved ones? So you know what, I want to help you win and let's win together. And so, yo, tops off to all the men out there who are saying, you know what, I'm gonna help you win. I'm gonna still be a man and hold down the fort, but I'm gonna be a man and help you win as well. Yeah, let's win. Baby girl, I got you.
And as time has gone on, he's just been like right there. And for me, I need that. Like, there's no way that I would have been able to grow the channel without the support of him because, for one, he's my videographer. For two, he's my editor. So he edits all of my videos.
Wow.
And then, yeah. And then, because I had multiple editors before, and I was like, we just need to edit in-house. It's so much easier. So I taught him how to edit, and now he's a better editor than I am. So he is like, he just takes on whatever he needs to do to help the business grow. And that's the kind of spouse that I needed for this type of job because it is a lot. It's very demanding. Like, it takes a lot of time. It's very fast paced. And if he wasn't able to like step in and just do what needs to get done, then we wouldn't be where we are. So I think for us, it's like managing the time well, like him knowing when to work his job, him knowing what deadlines we have for content, and then us always prioritizing like our personal time that just doesn't get recorded, going out on dates, like having fun together. And even when we did like the conference, like we will add a few extra days onto like speaking engagements so we can just hang out and have fun and enjoy a place because that's like, we need that, you know? So I'm here for all the husbands who the content creator husbands who be stepping in, becoming photographers, videographers, editors for their women who are like, you know, they're letting them shine, but they're also shining in our lives in the background that most people just don't see. So
one of the things I think that you've been really good at, right, is you know your content buckets and content lanes, right? But then also I see your husband in it. And then you all were very public about purchasing y'all's new dog, right? But it's like at the same time, I didn't feel like that was too personal. Like I don't see too like, oh, okay, like that's that's TMI, Aaron. You know, it's like y'all ride that line on, hey, here's our life, but you're not getting too personal. And I think a lot of people believe, like on YouTube, if you ain't being real personal, you're not going to win. How do you balance? Like, give us some suggestions on people who want to be bloggers like yourself. How do you ride that line? How do you create that boundary of, okay, this is for our family, but this is not going to be for our family?
So I always say there's a distinction between personal and personable, and I ride the personable wave. Like, I am a very people person. Like, I will talk to you, I will look you in the eyes. Like, I'm locked in with the camera when I'm talking to it, and I'm telling small stories. Like, all of those things help to create a personable feeling. And most people don't need to know all these gushy details about your inner life. To feel that connection with you. Like, if I wake up and I still have my scarf on, or if I'm praying in the morning, or if I'm like, those are little nuggets of my life that people are able to relate to. And that's enough for most people. So you can straddle the fence on the personable side. That doesn't mean that you have to give all the details of your life. And for me, there's just certain things that are off limits. Like, we don't really take the camera on dates. Like I don't take it to family gatherings, birthday parties. Like I need to be locked in those moments. But I talk about my family a lot. I talk about things that are, you know, personal to me, but in a personable way. I also tell people to go like narrow but deep. Like I will tell a lot of things about entrepreneurship and about, you know, what I'm going through in that. If I'm going through a dip in my business, I don't mind sharing those types of details because that's my lane. Like I'm cool with being narrow in that and going deep, and that's about it. Like I'm not going narrow but deep into my marriage. Like that's just off limits. So I think that picking is not so much about niching, in my opinion, as much as it is about like having something that you're okay with diving deeper into than other aspects of your life that you share.
Whew. And that's real good, because you actually got me convicted a little bit. I think I get probably a little bit too personal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think I need to start riding that line of being personable.
Yeah. Because the personable thing is more of like your personality. Like I'm just like, oh child, like let me tell y'all about what just happened. Like I can really like pull people in with my personality. And so I use that to my advantage.
So good.
And that's where people end up going. They think they know. It's like perception is reality, where people think they know more than they actually do.
Ooh.
So, you know.
Hey, I'm about to, y'all, y'all, y'all gonna think y'all know, but y'all really don't know as of today. Thank you, Erin, for teaching me that one, girl. All right, Erin, so let's give them some practical tips, right? So you've built this successful, you and your husband have built this successful business, and hey, I take my hats off to all husbands who can support their wives and their spouses. Teddy, let's be real. This dude was this was his woman. This wasn't even his fiance or wife. And he said, "Let me sow into your future." And there was no guaranteed ROI on his investment from her. And so, I mean, heads off to my brother. Hey, man, love you, bruh, because you're giving me an example, which I would do that now. If my woman said, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going, I will be the very first person to sow into that future, because it's very important. Y'all are building together, and y'all are building a legacy together. And as a Black person, when the average Black person right now is making about $42,000 a year, the average household income is right around $64,000 a year household income. I mean, you're doing 50,000 plus. Yeah, I want y'all to put the keyword there, y'all. The keyword there is not 50,000. It's plus.
The fact that you keep adding this plus two has me so weak. Like you are not forgetting the plus, Anthony.
What? Because I want people to see that you can win. You know what I'm saying? Like you can win. And this is what I love about Erin. I said, hey, what where you come to? She said, I told people 50,000 a few months ago, but it's plus now. So she didn't give us personal. She said, I'm gonna be personable. It's 50,000 plus. And so I think that's important, because I think a lot of people don't think you can win. You know, my brother-in-law is belief in fatherhood. And I remember, I tell the story often. Glenn, I remember when he first came back home, and my sister came back home, Yvette Henry, and she said, hey, my husband, Glenn, is going to quit to go be a YouTuber. I said, no, the heck he ain't. That's my show. I can say this. No, the hell he ain't. A YouTuber? What? He ain't making no money. And now he's built $1 million plus business off of YouTube. But here's the thing I want to talk to you about, Erin, is people don't look at it just like in our space. We don't look at it as if we're a YouTuber. No, we're running a business. And I think I want to walk through what are some practical things people should do. Like, okay, Erin, I hear you. I want to be a blogger like you. I want to get on YouTube like you. What are some practical things they should do in the very beginning to lay the foundation to eventually become a 50,000 plus business down the road?
Yeah. Well, at first you have to shift the fear of starting into the fear of not starting. Like you have to you have to start. And
Mm.
a lot of creators who are in the space of like wanting to start but haven't started yet are like always worried about what if it doesn't look right? What if? And you have to take the risk of just looking like a fool. if
Mm,
that's what you even look like. Like the thing is a lot of times we actually are a lot better than we think we even are. So you think that all these people are about to negatively judge you, or you're assuming the worst and projecting those feelings that are fake, that no one has even put on you as real. And then it prevents you from actually starting. So the first thing is like just believing that it's going to be successful. And then also like when it comes to YouTube specifically, because that's my primary platform, it's just like you have to crank out the content. Like
that's
you,
good.
it doesn't even have to, like, you don't have to pick your niche first. You don't have to do all of these steps first. You just need to get into it. Like, get into the swing of creating content. See if you even like it. Like, it's not for everybody. So, see if you like it. Like, sit in front of a window. That's what I have. Like, it's a window in front of me. Like, you don't need this hefty setup. Like, your phone can start you. Get a little phone tripod. If you want to invest in a ring light and a mic, the mic is always more important than the camera. Like, get good audio, sit in front of a window, and just start. Like, one thing that I did before I was starting, I was a broadcast journalism major, so a lot of that has helped me. I attribute a lot of that to the quickness of my growth on YouTube. But I will also say, like, practice just like talking fluently. Like,
Mm.
talk in fluid sentences. Think about how you're saying things and articulating your thoughts. Speaking in full sentences, short sentences, so helpful when it comes to editing, when it comes to people understanding and internalizing your messages. And a lot of times we just want to jump in and just be the best YouTuber ever. And you have to know that there are certain skills that are required, and it's going to take you time to get there. So don't look at people who've been doing it for 10 years and trying to be that, instead of just working on like where you are right now. So that's another thing, is just practicing speaking really well on camera, or just in your bathroom mirror, recording voice memos when you're thinking thoughts, like saying them out loud for a minute, and just hearing how you talk is a great thing to start doing.
Right.
Another thing is, once you do start uploading, like, use the time to your advantage. So when I first started, I did a vision board video on YouTube. It was one of my very first videos on my channel. And I uploaded that at like the end of November, when nobody was really looking up vision board type stuff yet. Like, they were all on the Christmas stuff, Christmas decorations. And then after Christmas, like that weekend between Christmas and New Year's, my video just like popped off. And
Wow.
it was because a lot of the people who do typically create that type of content hadn't put theirs out yet. They was waiting till the new year. And so if you can stay like a month or so ahead, then that also can put you at an advantage on YouTube. Like, sometimes it's just getting the content out at the right time that's going to help your video, gain more traffic than if you wait until it's too late, essentially.
Before
So
before you go into this next one, I want to ask you a question there, and please go to the next one, because you dropping some jewels right now. You have some other YouTube experts who are not as successful as you. They'll say, "Oh no, focus on quality over quantity." Then you have some people say, "Nah, drop the content, get the quantity, and don't really focus on quality." Where do you lie between those two?
I say put the best quality that you can create right now as frequently as you can. So, like,
Mm,
the best you can do is your iPhone. Put that out for now. And because the way I look at it is, a video from a year ago that was my personal best a year ago is not my personal best now. So it's always going to be like, I can be better. The only way I'm going to get better is if I create. Like, I have a better camera now because I used the heck out of my last camera. I'm not jumping like to step 10 when I'm at step 7. You know what I mean? So I think for most people, if you have a phone with great quality, the key is to like get the accessories if you can. Like, it's not to jump in to get a camera that you don't even know how to use, that you think is going to make you better content, or to buy this editing software that you think is going to make your videos look sweeter, but you don't even know how to use it. Like, you have to take the steps. And so for me, it's like, yes, don't make the video look trash, because nobody wants to watch a video that looks trash. But the quality also comes not just from the quality of the video or the quality of the edit or the quality of like your lighting. It comes from the storytelling and like the way you articulate your message. And like the quality is deeply rooted in that more so than the visuals. So working on those storytelling things and like how to break down a message, how to like actually get your point across is always going to create better quality than like the camera, because a lot of my videos I've shot on my phone.
Yeah, yeah.
And like nobody knows. No one's like, oh no, Erin, I can't watch this one. So if you can create a good video with your phone or whatever you have, it can be a camera, it can be a great camera, and you can do that one time a week, then start there. Like don't think that like you have to crank out 6 videos a week or even 2 videos a week if that's going to clunk you out too fast. It's better to like ride the straddle of like, if you upload too much and your quality is going down, then you need to take your frequency down and make sure the quality stays there.
You know, I've heard people say, oh man, you shouldn't be talking about something if you're not an expert in something. Like you shouldn't be teaching this if you're not an expert in it. An expert means you got a degree, you got the bachelor's, the master's, the doctorates in it. And I personally, Erin, I personally disagree with that. I personally feel as if you shouldn't say you're an expert, but you should say, hey, here's my story, here's my journey, and you can choose to listen to it or not. And I think there are some people watching us right now saying, well, Erin, Anthony, I don't have a degree in XYZ, but I have a story.
Mm-hmm.
Should I share it? And the reason why I haven't started my YouTube channel, the reason why I haven't started my podcast, the reason why I haven't going out to high schools or different conferences to speak is because I don't have a degree in it, but I do have a story that I have some experience in it. But will people frown upon me? I want you to talk to someone because I watch your stuff. You know, my sister loves your stuff. And I'm like, man, while you're blogging, man, you're teaching content. Like you're not just, hey, look at what we're doing. Like there's a purpose and a story, and a life lesson in your content. Speak to people who are saying, you know what? I am fearful to start because I'm not an expert in a field, but they still have a story, a message they want to share. Should they start? Should they still pursue their passion and start a channel?
Yes. I agree with you wholeheartedly about not having having a story is enough to share your story. So like I tell content creators that I grew the most and the fastest when I was living with my parents, when I was 23, 24, was just getting my feet wet, because most people can relate to that. Like most people are there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'd be like, don't miss this opportunity. And it's not weaponizing where you're at. It's not like cheap marketing, but it's like use the fact that you are in the same situation that most people are in right now to your advantage. Like your home isn't aesthetic. Do you know how many people's homes aren't aesthetic but still want to be represented? Like everybody's stuff looks the same now. So like do something different. Share where you are. And that a lot of times for most people is where they like take off. When they grow the fastest is when they're like in that kind of vulnerable state of their journey. And they're just like, I'm about to just put myself out there. I'm just about to put it on the table. If y'all want to ride along, then let's go. Because I hadn't started, I had started my business, but I didn't have much business acumen, but I was teaching the stuff that I knew. Like, okay, here's how you make an invoice. Here's how you, like do this, that, the third. And it's more of just like showing where I'm at. And if you find value in it, then that's cool. So I say like, don't miss the part that you're going to be able to grab the most people because they're right there with you instead of trying to be up here and you've already missed all of these people who need you.
Yeah. How long you been doing this, Erin? How long you been in it?
I started in 2019.
2019. 2018. So
yeah.
that's what? How many years?
Almost
4 years. 5 years.
Going on 5 this year.
5 years making 50 grand. 5 years. Come on, y'all. Come on. There's someone watching right now, and I get this often. in the content creation space, because you are a public figure, people are, one, they're scared of starting, right? Because they're scared, like, hey, do I have what it takes? And here's number two, Erin. They're scared of what people may say, the negative comments that not may come, that will come, every month someone's making a video about me. Oh, Anthony's in no debt. He's stupid. He's crazy. And his philosophy is so outdated and da-da-da-da. I mean, I've had some negative videos come from me. I get negative comments on my YouTube channel, on my podcast. I mean, some people are scared of what people may say about them. What encouragement would you have? Being in this for 5 years, growing and evolving, I'm pretty sure you've seen some negative comments. I'm pretty sure you've had some negative feedback. How did you mentally get through that and you didn't allow it to delay and stop you from getting to where you are today within your business?
Yeah. I don't get like an excessive amount of negative comments, which I'm very thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like being in broadcast journalism and working in that industry kind of helped me build some thickness to my skin. Because, I was a Black girl as the winner of a digital correspondence contest, which was a nationwide contest for National Geographic, which is a very white,
Wow.
you know.
Yeah.
So people were not thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that for me, it opened my eyes to the fact that, like, look, everybody just ain't gonna like you. I'm not gonna be everybody's vibe, and that's fine. But for me, sometimes, like, when I get negative comments, I read them and I'm like, I guess I could see maybe what you were trying to say, even if I don't necessarily agree with it, just you have a perspective just like I do, and if I ain't for you, then I'm just not for you.
Right.
And I try really hard not to take things too personally, because I don't even know them. So if you are somebody who struggles with this, I would recommend just like treading lightly with overly reading your comments. Like, if you can, one thing that I'm doing is, like, I will respond to comments within the first hour of an upload. But after that, like, I have a manager now who does all of these things, who can help with engagement, but I don't see the stuff as much. So if you can, like, draw boundaries around, like, how much you're actually absorbing the things that other people are saying about your content, I think it can help you stay encouraged, because most people are gonna respect and, like, understand where you're coming from. It is a small percentage. In my experience, it's a smaller percentage of people who disagree with me than who do actually enjoy my content. So I try to just stay focused on that.
I love it. I love it. My creative director has the same background as you, and he's sitting in the back like,
Yeah.
I got two more questions before we let you go, and you guys don't forget, we are going to drop Erin's information in today's show notes. Please go follow her on YouTube, subscribe to her channel, and follow her on Instagram. Because you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot, and also you're going to be entertained. Like, I really do enjoy following their journey, because it's not just about see what I'm doing. You're following a journey. I remember when they first bought the dog. The dog was a hot mess. Now, that's a dope dog. That dog is sitting.
I had like 4 breakdowns. I know she can walk off leash now. Like, she's just such an angel.
An angel. And y'all documented the whole process.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this dog I like this dog. You know what I'm saying? I like this dog now. In the beginning, I was like, oh, poor Erin.
I was struggling.
Erin, they say by 2054 that the average Black family will have 0 to negative net worth. They say that a stat is out that the average Black man, not average, 40% of Black men make less than $38,000 a year. They say that when Black men pass and parents pass, right, we leave our kids with bills and very little benefits. As a Black successful woman who's thriving, and you're only going up from here, why is it important for you and your husband to build Erin on Demand, to build impact so that you all can have income? I'm curious to know why is wealth, because clearly you all have a goal of building wealth. Why is that so important for you two? And I guess the overall question is, as a Black couple, because your content's for everyone, but like as a Black couple, why are you all so strategic on what you're doing when it comes with the finances of your business?
Yeah. Well, for one, we want to build wealth for exactly what you said. So, like, our children and their children can have an experience to where they don't have to like think about us. Like, I I listened to a podcast and I can't remember what his name was, but he was saying that most Black families, once the next generation, if they become wealthy, their money is going backwards. Their money is going up to their parents and their grandparents,
Yeah.
buying them houses and cars. We don't want our kids to think twice, once
Yeah.
about doing something for us because they feel that they have to, or they feel like they have to like pay us back, or we're not living a quality enough life as they are able to. So they have to like support us in some way. I don't want that for my kids.
Mm.
Like, I want them to be able to like have and go and do and be, and like, we good, like
Mhm.
me and your daddy, we good. So that's like one of the things that we talk about all the time, is just setting ourselves up so that we can set them up to be able to set themselves up to not worry about us. So yeah, for me it's all about legacy, and just also showing my family, like, who, like, you know my parents and my cousins and all of them, like, you can go get it, like, you
Yeah.
can do it. Like, we are like the first in our family. I have a family of entrepreneurs, but nothing like this, like
Wow.
nothing like what we're doing and building now. And we have so many cool plans for future things that we want to do to expand Erin on Demand, but nothing like this is being done. And so it's kind of like I'm just taking faith steps and like, all right, God, am I going in the right direction? Like, what's up? And he just keeps leading me in the right direction. And I want my family to also see that part of it. So that's our ultimate goal. But I feel like you asked me something else and I don't think I answered it. What
I
was this?
forgot because you were just hitting so good right there. Y'all remember the question? I don't remember the question because Aaron was just talking that good stuff. Because you right, Aaron. I mean, I think we can just stay right there to close out the show here in this subject, because you're right. When I look at my mom right now, both of my mothers, I lost my grandma about a few years ago. The reason why my family lived paycheck to paycheck wasn't really because we didn't have income. It was because a lot of the resources was going back to help my grandmother live longer, because my grandmother didn't put the things in place to where financially she could cover herself. I told my parents this. I said, "Hey, listen, I love you, but my wife and children will come before you. So while you're healthy, while you are good, listen to what I teach about getting out of debt and building wealth. So this way, when you get sick, you're not putting a burden on my family. I'm going to be there. I'm going to make sure that you live as long as you possibly can, but at least make sure that the financial burden is not on me, because the financial burden will not be on my kids from me and my wife." But when you look at the average Black family, the Black family, yeah, I got to worry about me and my family and my mom and my dad. And now we're stressing because, watch this, we can't put our kids through college debt free, because we have the guilt pleasure of, well, if I don't do this for my mom and my dad, then they may not live. And here's the truth. If my mom would not have done the things that she did for my grandmother would have passed a lot longer. And I understand why my mom did that, but I refuse to do that with my kids. So I told my parents. It was a hard conversation, and it was harsh. And I don't think they liked it at first, but it's a conversation that needed to be had.
Yeah, and it's a boundaries thing. And I think that you know, that's good that you had that type of conversation.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because a lot of people, like you said, it's like this guilt pleasure, or like, I don't feel right buying this nice big new house because, like, You don't want your, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like this whole cycle. So yeah, we talk about this all the time. We don't want that for our kids.
Not at all. Not at all. Well, y'all, this is Erin on Demand. This is Erin on Demand. I've been following her for about 1.5 years, 2 years now. And I said, I love the woman of character and integrity that she is. I love how she loves her husband. I love how she's building a business that is impacting people, that is impacting lives. And because of that, she is generating a lot of income. And she's not chasing the income. She's chasing impact, hard work, and her reward is definitely income. And so if you want to learn how to really just take your message, y'all, I don't have a degree, you know what I'm saying? And I've been able to take my message and really build impact on that, specifically like on stages and speaking on corporate events and turning it into a book. And if you want to learn how to take a message, join us this weekend as we talk about that, on really how to build your personal brand, 4 keys on how you can build an extra 6-figure on the side. And then as well, make sure you check out my sister, Erin on Demand. We're going to drop her website, her social media information, and her YouTube channel in today's show notes, because this is one who I love. This is one who I support. And I said, I got to get this woman on the show. And she's so busy. We were talking about this last year. And
Next time we can be in person, I'll be hopefully in DC sometime this year.
hey, man, we got to do that. And got to bring your husband on the show, too, because, I mean, the husband's good. Before we go, you gave me some merchandise, you know what I'm saying, that I love.
Don't talk about that.
You know I got to, because when you wore it at the event, I was like, yo, I need that. So I'm not saying what the name of it is because I don't know if it's out yet, but is it, I mean, can we talk about that?
But we don't have those ones. We were supposed to make them last year, but we didn't end up making them. But everyone's still asking me about them. So I'm like, okay, maybe we'll do it this year.
Listen.
So much. Like, it's like one of those revenue streams where I'm just like, I mean, it's cool, but it's just like a lot, especially because we kind of do everything ourselves, but they'll come. We can leave a link to the ones that we currently have.
Okay.
And then once we have the new ones, I'll make sure I send you one.
The new ones are dope. Let me ask you this question, because we're not into merch. We're about to get into merch.
What I wore that you saw was a sample order.
Oh.
Yeah.
That thing was fire. I said I would wear that every month on a show.
Yeah, okay. We'll get them.
You got to do it. And as soon as you get them, you ain't even got to come do a full show. Just jump online real quick. We'll do a commercial and throw it on the show. That's how much I love it, because it just really represents what we do. You know what I'm saying? For our culture. And I'm like, yo, like this is good, because sometimes the creators, culture is frowned upon. And I think it's frowned because people are not educated and they don't see the businesses that we're building. Like, you employ people full time. I employ people full time. This is a full ran business. But it's like when you hear creators like, oh, that ain't no job. That ain't no business. And I'm like, man, y'all crazy. Like, what we do, this is hard. Like, this is not just turn on the camera and go off. Like, there's a lot of strategy behind it if you're going to be making $50,000 plus a month.
Even this plus.
It's the plus for me. Yo.
I love everything you're doing. I love the show. I love
Man.
Just great. Thank you so much for the support and just having me on. I really appreciate it. And I love collaborating and having these types of conversations, because, me and my husband, we be talking about this stuff all the time. So I like to talk with other people just to, hear some other perspectives, because we talk about this nonstop.
Y'all, I love it. Y'all, we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next show. Peace out.